2 days ago, there has been a Russian missile strike on Lviv, which killed about 37 foreign volunteers and wounded another roughly 135. So, let's talk about operational security in hostile environments. Most of them probably thought that places like the recruiting and training center for international fighters in Lviv would be a safe place, since it's right next to the border with Poland in western Ukraine, and no Russian troops are anywhere near. You can get all your admin sorted and then enjoy some basic military training before going off to the areas where the fighting is. However, since you're not fighting against a bunch of goat herders, but against a legit superpower with an actual air force, drones, nuclear warheads, satellite surveillance, and not to mention one of the best military intelligence networks in the world. I mean, I'm not an insider, but that's the way the KGB and its successors have been portrayed by the Western media for the last 40 years. The Russians decided to blast the place with some cruise missiles. Let me give you a few things you might want to think about. Sun Tzu explained in The Art of War that war is about deception and gathering intelligence on your enemy. A military commander has to assume that the enemy is always watching him. Now, with all the media attention that has been directed towards the volunteer fighters coming to Ukraine to fight against Russia, these guys already have a big fucking target painted on their backs. They may not even be relevant as a military force, but they are going to be used for propaganda reasons by both sides. Ukraine is going to portray those volunteers as heroes that came to help defend Ukraine from an evil enemy. Whereas the Russians are going to talk about them as foreign mercenaries, war criminals, guys who just go there because they want to kill people. And if you are a foreign volunteer, you have to be aware that you are a relevant military target, even though you might not think of yourself like that. Now let's talk about some of Russia's military intelligence gathering options. They have satellites that can be used to locate positions and to track movements. So any vehicle entering Ukraine through the most common access points will be on record somewhere, either through satellite or drone observation or through observation from people on the ground. But as for a location like Lviv, where plenty of foreign volunteers are going to pass through, you can be absolutely sure that the Russians will have agents in place which collect lots of information on everyone. What would I have done if I were the Russians? Well, first of all, I would have found some pro-Russian sympathizers from the local area around Lviv and recruit them. And I would pay them to provide regular updates, including pictures of what is going on in the general area and of anything unusual that happens. In addition to that, I would supply some intelligence agents with fake passports and let them sign up as volunteers. They would provide inside information on that training center and the units stationed around it, and especially the unit that they are part of. Later on in the war, they can then be used for assassinations within the unit, sabotage acts, or attacks against military targets of opportunity. Others would act as volunteers who drive in and out of Lviv regularly because they bring supplies or donations from other countries. All of these guys will be easy to talk to, they will be open, outgoing, have a chat with the volunteers, see what's going on, get them to spill some private and personal information about themselves that can be later used against them, and so on. And I highly doubt that Ukraine has a vetting process in place that is good enough to filter out Russian military intelligence agents. Another big thing is smartphones. I will provide a link down in the description to a video that InRangeTV did on operational security in conflict zones, and you should absolutely watch that one because he's talking about the smartphone and all the problems associated with it. So I will keep this one short. Leave your smartphone at home. If you get captured, the information on there can be used to identify your family and military locations. While you're carrying it, it can be used to track you and target your unit. Messages and phone conversations can easily be intercepted. Now, if you don't see how serious that can be, here are some things that they could do with such information. If they find out who your family is, they could contact them Tell them that they have taken you prisoner, or show pictures of some mutilated bodies and tell them that that is you and they killed you. They could threaten your family, or they could actually harm them and then contact you and tell you about it. They could also tell you that they found your family, which is very hard for you to verify whether that is true or not, and that they have people in place that are going to kill or harm your family unless you do what they say, which most likely will be provide them regularly with ongoing information about the military operations that you guys are doing, and maybe in the end even do some acts of sabotage against your own unit. So basically they can blackmail you into working for them as an agent. So let's say you decided to be 100% safe and you don't even take a phone with you. Then you're good, right? Well, what about all the other volunteers? How many of them understand what I just told you and are willing to ditch their smartphones? You know, no more social media, no more posting Facebook pics and all that good stuff. No more chatting with their girlfriend or their mom and dad. Yeah, didn't think so. And one final thing, just because your location hasn't been hit doesn't mean that the Russians don't know that you're there. They may just think at the moment they're not gonna spend the resources on hitting it. So again, you better realize what kind of enemy you're up against if you're going down there, and you prepare accordingly. Okay? There's all the information about operational security, about mobile phones and all that good stuff on the internet. It'll take a while to get all through it, find it, but it's well worth it. Wars are not won by shooting alone. They are won through information. And you have to know how to protect your information. I'm not gonna go and talk about all the stuff that you're not supposed to do, like post stuff on Instagram and Facebook and even take pictures because of the metadata on the picture and because of the options of fucking hacking your phone and all that stuff. Watch the InRangeTV video, find other sources on YouTube or wherever. If you're dumb enough to fucking take pictures and post them on Instagram, you're gonna get what you deserve. And I'm not even gonna feel sorry for you. So with all that being said, I still wish you all the best. Stay safe, but be smart about it and do some preparation. And if you think you're gonna be fucking way in over your head, maybe rethink your plan.